Huh? Yeah, I'll eat dog. What kind is it? Uh-huh. I caught myself. You didn't hear none of that, did you? And it doesn't matter. But what does matter is I was muted. And I caught it before we got here. All right, now that we got that out of the way, I should have this down pat by now. Honestly, Taylor's been gone a long time. How old is her kid now? 2 or 3? I'm John Zidar, folks. This is the live streaming event for On Top and Hot, but it's for Penny Boys, where I spend all my time. I'm there from 9:30 in the morning to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, trading every day. We find lots of hot stocks over there, and we're going to be looking at a few of them here today. So who is here? Well, let me guess. Velmore, Underdog, Mark Ryan, Kashira. I know there's a few others there, but I know I got those right, right? Yes, hello, Velmore. I've got all your tickers down, all those names there. We've got HKD. Yes, we are going to take a look at that one. That was a hot stock when it IPO'd. Came on at $10 and ran over $2,000, $2,500 if you want to get precise. Mark Ryan, oh, you gave me a choice too, didn't you? Yeah, I went with lottery. Lots of people are looking at lottery right now, and I think she's still running at this very moment. So we're going to take a look at lottery. Underdog, I got your zone, buddy. It is in the zone, as we like to say. Dino Trades, I'm glad you gave me a choice there. OPTT, lots of discussion. It is climbing right now. It's one of my favorite long holds. We're not going to look at it, though. I've covered it so many times. I looked at BLLB, almost had me. Then I looked at SkyX, and it's like, okay, that's the one we're going to look at. Company I have not heard of before. Javier Macchiato. Yeah, we got ALLR for you there. Kashira, we got your Migo. That's as far as we got. Anything past that, we'll see if we have time for it. Doesn't look like there was anything here. Great. I did reach out to Taylor. Taylor's busy. She's a mom now. She's a full-time mom. What can I say? And trying to find a window to actually do this with a toddler, an infant, it's really, really tough. So I don't hold it against her. No problems. She says she will pop in here when she can find that opportunity. So I am not prepared here at all. So let me get my window up for us. Here we go. I didn't mean I'm not prepared at all. I am prepared. I got lots of information here. I don't see anybody screaming that you can't hear me or see me, so I guess we are on good terms. So we're going to take a look at the stocks that you guys have brought me. I don't have any tickers from Twitter or YouTube, nothing that came in that I remembered. Maybe I did, but we're just going to look at stocks that you guys brought me today. Very first one, scroll on up. I know who it came from. No, yeah. You can see that. Yes, you can. These are my notes. These are bullets to remind me of things I want to talk about in case I forget to mention them. At least you know what I was supposed to talk about. HKD, it came from Velmore. This IPO'd back in July of 2022. She came on at $10. In August, yeah, it was a couple months later, she had hit $2,500. Not for any outstanding reason. I do remember she came on with a low float. It may have been like 3 million, 5 million. And though it was advertised as a Chinese stock, the company's corporate office is in France. I was surprised to hear about that. The company is involved in media, entertainment, education, and training. They do have news about a spin-out merger of a subsidiary worth $500 million, which is to close mid-2025. So let's take a look at what we got going here. HKD, AMTD, wrong page. I was jumping back and forth to make sure all my highlights stay up. I kept refreshing the pages because I got quite a few of them here, and I really hate losing my highlights. So this, what is the company? Since I've got it here, we are going to be looking at multiple companies related to this company. We're going to be looking at a little subsidiary that is attached to a big subsidiary, and that big subsidiary is attached to this company. We're looking at all of those right now. This is the big company, AMTD Digital. AMTD Digital is a comprehensive digital solutions platform headquartered in France. It's a one-stop digital solutions platform which operates four main business lines, including digital solution services, digital media, content and marketing services, and digital investments, as well as hospitality and VIP services as well. Now, we're going to get more information about those other companies here in a second. HKD finished today at $3.16, and she was up just a little over 19%. She jumped over 50 cents today. This is a hot penny stock in the major exchange. She's on the New York Stock Exchange. We don't get a chance to see a whole lot of penny stocks there, but penny stocks can be on any exchange. It's not about where you're at, it's just how much you are. Any stock under $5 is a penny stock, plain and simple. Great thing about penny stocks on the major exchange is they're free to trade. I don't know anybody who charges for major exchange stocks. You get to trade in pre-market, aftermarket. You never get to do that with OTC. And those are some of the biggest runners you're going to get because there's no volatility halts during the aftermarket, pre-market periods. There's also a lot more money and a lot more volume up on the major exchanges, which is really what we want as traders. And there's a lot more rules. If you're getting taken down on the OTC, it's because there's not as much oversight. It's decentralized. You got something like 200 brokers down there all doing their own thing. So yeah, it's easy to get the wool pulled over your eyes. So penny stocks in the major exchange, they're safer, more volatile, got more activity, got more money. I like playing them. So let's get some information about the company. Starting with the news over here. What we see is that they seem to have focused in on movies. That's all I see, Hollywood-style movies. AMTD's movie, The Last Dance, Hong Kong and Macau box office exceeded Hong Kong's $65 million and broke multiple records. $65 million they made on that movie, and they set records in Hong Kong, setting movie industry records. Now, we got a piece of news here that mentions a few different companies. World Media Entertainment Universal. That is the small subsidiary. They are the subsidiary of AMTD Idea Group. That is the big subsidiary. They got their own ticker. That ticker is AMTD. It's already been spun out. It's on the major exchange as well, on the New York Stock Exchange, currently at $1.18. They are going to go public. This World Media Entertainment, the little subsidiary, is going public through a merger with Black Spade Acquisition, a SPAC. So AMTD has a spin-out going up on the major exchange, and anybody who owns AMTD will get dividends. You'll get free shares in that stock. Anybody who owns HKD, nada. The company will get some benefit out of it because they own all of it. They'll get some benefit out of it, but as investors, we're not going to get a direct benefit from that. And then they have news that came out today. This came out for both AMTD Idea Group and for the main company. They have partnered with Alibaba. Alibaba has a lot of different divisions. Yeah. It's that Alibaba, the one that has all those Chinese companies that they work with. Well, they have lots of different divisions now. I think they got a pay company and a media company and a whole bunch of other stuff. They've gotten really big and they're involved with movies now. So the little subsidiary, World Media Entertainment, is got a deal with Alibaba. So that was the big news. And of course, AMDT is involved with that, the other ticker as well, because it's their subsidiary. So that's the hot news. And being that all of it is underneath the umbrella of HKD, supposedly she caught some heat from it as well. Anything else I got here? Yeah, just looking at the information from that merger, the business combination values the little subsidiary at an equity value of approximately $488 million. We're just shy of $500 million, but we're over $500 million if you include the trust fund of $153 million, which they're not doing. This is expected to close mid-2025. After the transaction, existing shareholders of the little subsidiary and the big subsidiary and the company are all expected to hold more than 70% of the new business combination. So they're going to be top dog in charge of it all. So what was the relative volume around HKD today? I don't know. Let's see. Wow. Man, that's a huge jump. On the major exchange, she was only doing 323,000 shares a day. That's under the radar on the major exchange. Under 1 million is definitely not to be seen. Today, we jumped way up. What is that? 5 times 3, 15. We're over 15 times her normal volume. Jumping to 5.2 million, getting respectable. Taking a look at the share structure. She started off with a small float. I don't know when she's added it, but now we're up to 28 million, which isn't bad. That's the outstanding share count. The float, that's going to be determined by however many shares the insiders own. Subtract that from the outstanding, that's our float. I don't know any of the numbers. All I know is the float's never more than the outstanding share count, so it won't be any more than 28.2 million, and could be considerably less depending how many the insiders own. Market cap for the company is currently about $187 million. Financials, are they making any money? All right, I'm not sure how much of this is theirs. They came on the market in 2022, but that doesn't mean they weren't in business. And when they came here, they bring all their financials with them. So chances are these are financials before they were on the market, and these are financials after they came on the market. So I do believe it's all theirs. And they've been growing over the last 4 years, going from 21 million up to 33 million. We know it's millions. We've got to add 3 more zeros to any of the numbers on any of these charts. Funny thing here is, how are you in this sort of business and getting away without having to pay anything for the revenues you're making? They get to keep every single dollar. I'm not complaining, mind you. I'm just curious. I have no idea what this is. This is supposed to be their quarterly reports, and I'm not even going to try to figure out what that means. Just going to go straight to their balance sheet. Remembering to bring those 3 zeros over here as well. Cash and cash equivalents, think of it as the bank. We got about 153 million in the bank. Almost $500 million in assets, 483 million. Liabilities are way down, 146 million. So we are holding 337 million stockholder equity for us. That's the investor's profit out of all of this. So we've got a company that's making revenues. They are making a profit. We've got lots of stockholder equity, and they're making deals. They're spinning out new companies. Everything is going nicely with this company. Looking really, really good. Take a look at our disclosures just for a quick glance. We've got a 6K here. That is to do with the news. That correlates with the news about the Alibaba deal. Then we've got a 13G here. Any SC13G is a new investor. Somebody who's bought enough shares, they own a percentage of the company. They're now an insider. They're a partner in the company. But if you see an A on it, it means it's amended. So this just didn't happen today. It happened sometime before. Here's another A. So you got to keep going back. Now I could jump in here and there should be a date at the very top, September 30th. So that's when the original investment happened. So we're really not concerned about it right now. So that's everything that we've got to look at over here. So let's go take a look at that chart. Now, are you following me? My other monitor shows how much you lag behind me. I should have these in order so I don't have to mess around typing. First thing I want to do is go all the way back. 3 years do it? Yes, 3 years to show you the entire chart for this company. They came on the market here. This is back in July of 2022 at roughly $10. She jumped to $30 that week. I do believe this is a weekly chart. Yeah. So she started off at 10. At the end of the week, she had hit $30 somewhere in there. But over the next 2 months, she hit $2,555. I remember this. Mego came out a little while after this one, MEGL, another Chinese company, at least that's the way they advertise it, with a low float. And she ran to like 267. Everybody was wondering if she was going to pull an HKD, and she didn't. And we never know when they're going to run like this because there's no cause, there's no reason. They just do. And a lot of times what you can do, you want to take gains, folks. You see a strange run that's going parabolic, you know it's going to come down, but we don't know when. And you don't want to cheat yourself, right? So take the best of both worlds. Sell some now. Sell 50% of what you got. Put your money back in your pocket. When she goes over 100%, at least get your money back if you want to start playing. Then put a trailing stop loss on it and give yourself a big gap. Give yourself some buffer room there and let that puppy run. When she finally falls back, your big gap, that's when she'll sell. But you can just climb and climb and climb without having to worry about when should I sell? When should I sell? All right, let's come back to reality. Let's come all the way down to our 6-month, 4-hour view. All right, let's take a look at our 1-year view. I hear someone over there, but what about the 52-week high? It's right there, $5.80. We hit that October 3rd. We were in a downtrend. The 200 is just starting to go flat here. She got anxious. She did. She took off really fast, jumped from underneath everything, breaking that 200 and climbing hard, came back down to the 200, which still is not flat. It wasn't, so she couldn't stand on it. Came right back underneath. You're not going to see breakouts on falling 200s, folks. You may see a pop. You may see a run over it, but she's going to come down. If that 200 is not leveled out, she's going to come back down and come back underneath. 98% of the time, you can count on that. She's come back down. She's hit a low here of $2.55. We did that halfway through January. She has come around, and right now she is pushing up with a lot of punch. Little bit of volume here, spiking it, and all of our oscillators are starting to climb. Our 6-month, 4-hour view, we can see that she wasn't a downtrend after that. She came down even after this low bubble. She just came up to the 200, gave us a nice strong spike, came back down, and now she's starting to run. But you really can't see a whole lot of heat here except for today. Once she got up on top of the 200, she was secure there. And there's the ticket, folks. Yeah, let me back this up just a wee bit. Look at our setup. We have a falling 200 MA. We have a falling 200 haul, and our price is underneath the 50. Once it got on top of the 50, our 200 haul turned up. I have mine change colors so I don't miss it because the price responds so quickly when the 200 haul changes that I want to catch it. Folks, when did it jump? It jumped when the 200 haul turned blue. Call it coincidence if you want, but you're going to see that coincidence a lot. She ripped right off of the 200 haul at $2.64, and she hit a high today of $3.32, and right now we're at $3.20. Lots of volume today. Every oscillator is still pushing up, still climbing. ADX is superb. Green line on the top saying your green trend is dominant. Red trend on the bottom. The yellow line says how strong that trend is. The higher up it is, the stronger. The lower, the weaker. That is a very strong uptrend still. Let's come on down to our, grab that. Come on down to our 1 hour, 20 minute, 1 hour, 20 day. It's the same thing, folks. Look, as soon as our 200 turned blue and she was on top. See, here it turned blue, but she wasn't on top of the 50. She was falling. She got back up on top of the 50, jumped, fell down to the 50, and catapulted big time. All of our MAs are now crossing the 200. Those are all golden crosses. This helps the price. It's like turbo boost. All of our oscillators are still climbing, still pushing up. Everything's still looking strong. All of our ADX lines are in the right place. Green on the top, yellow line pushing up strong. Loving this chart right now, folks. And last, let's take a look at our 5-day, 15-minute. So it was 3 days ago we had a pop. 200 haul turned blue. She was underneath the 200 MA on top of the 50. Folks, this is a golden setup. I'm telling you, just watch it. This is what most of my videos are based on, honestly. She had a nice run there from 259 up to 282, back down to the 200, and we've had a rip today. She has pulled off of that high underneath her 20 down, or I didn't mean the 20, her 9, down to the 20. Now, to be completely honest, she's had a very, very strong run here. She has had a strong pull away from the 20. I wouldn't be surprised if she breaks the 20 and comes down further. Now, that's not to say she has to come all the way down here Let's go back to our 30-minute. Is there a closer support? Oh boy, not really. That's down at 291. This one here was at 294. If this breaks to 20, there's a strong likelihood she's going to come down to the low 290s, mid 290s, somewhere in there. Got to remember, the MAs are moving. They're not like supports and resistances in locked places. So this is going to be rising as she's falling. So it could be somewhere in that region. But we're hoping for a bounce here. All of our oscillators look weak right now, though. Everything is rolled over and pushing down. So don't be surprised. All right, let's go take a look at another stock, and then I'll come talk to whoever's over there. Let's jump into a hot stock today, folks. Lottery had a lot of people's attention. There we go. LTRY, lottery.com. Lottery was brought to me by Mark Ryan, who has a day job, but somehow manages to be in penny boys every day. Some days more than others. And some days he gets some wild trades out. I'm talking over 20 trades in a day, folks. That's what scalping will do to you. You can get in and get out just catching bounces. And when you're not greedy, you're not waiting for more, you're just taking what's given, you can take $30, $80, $100, $5. And at the end of the day, you add it all up and you had $420 out of your 20 plays. Nothing wrong with that. Yes, it is a lot of work. But let me tell you what, you get into a trade trying to make $485, you're sweating. It's frustrating going through 6-7 hours watching a stock, having it fall, hoping. You know, I'd rather get into probable moves, have the play set up, know where I'm going to sell when it rises, know where I'm going to sell when it falls, and just let it happen. Price comes into my trap, boom. What are you going to do? You're going to give me money, you're going to take some. And I limit my loss. And that's what I concentrate on, my losses. I don't worry about how much money I'm making. I worry about how much I'm losing. I can't control everything, but I can control those losses. And if I can control that, the wins will take care of the dollars for me. It's an easy game plan. Let me see the headlines for Lottery. They've just made some acquisitions. They have received financial backing. I think that's really why it's running. I do. But they are in hot water with the NASDAQ. So let's dive into this. Lottery.com finished today at $1.41. Woohoo! Look at that, folks. We're up 187%. It wasn't too long ago she was in bad trouble. I think it was bankruptcy. They had pulled all their lottery tickets down and everything. That's what this is. This is lottery.com. You've probably seen their tickets out there. Scratch offs. You can buy them online. You can get a subscription and never miss a ticket. They do that not only in this country, but I think in 400 jurisdictions in many, many, many different countries. So they had a real good day today, and we were playing the heck out of this over at Penny Boys today, and she was halted numerous times today. Halts have their own play. You don't scalp a halt. You play that in two different directions. We've got one where you can get in during the halt using a trailing stop loss. And then Scott, one of our Penny Boys players and members, he has a strategy for waiting after the halt unhalts and letting the price get close to its high when it halted and go 2 cents over it. And when he does this, normally it bounces. When you buy it at that high above the last high, it seems to go much higher. So we've got that strategy as well. So Lottery was a good player for us today. This is an American company based out of Texas. They tell us down here the company provides lottery data results, jackpots results, and other data. It delivers daily results of approximately 800 domestic and international lottery games from 40 different countries, including the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, to 400 digital publishers and media organizations. All right, before I jump into the filings, they didn't have the news the way I wanted to read it. And God, I got to tell you, I love Stock Titan. Stock Titan looks at the news through AI eyes, and it rewrites it for you. It'll look at the entire company, look at all of its news, and give you a blurb. A nice, I don't even need to do any homework anymore. I can start doing this. I just wish it was a different color for us. But they have lots of information over here about the company, all the news. They do break down things into blurbs. Over here on the side, while I'm looking at information, you can get information about the float, insider ownership, institutions ownership, shorts, all sorts of information is available here. So let's jump into this and see what you can learn. Lottery.com is at the forefront of revolutionizing the lottery industry through its innovative and user-friendly platforms. The company enables users to purchase legally sanctioned lottery tickets both domestically and internationally via the Lottery.com app and website. The company has secured significant funding and announced a series of acquisitions aimed at expanding its footprint in the sports and wellness industries. Notably, Lottery.com acquired Nook Holdings Limited, a leading co-working space provider in Dubai, known for its innovative approach to sports, fitness, and wellness. The acquisition will be rebranded as Sports.com, marking Lotteries.com's entry into the dynamic sports entertainment sector. On the financial front, Lottery.com has bolstered its stability and growth potential through new funding agreements, including a recent $18 million investment from Prosperity Investment Management. The company's strategic alliances also include a partnership with WA Technology to enhance Lotteries.com's operations across Africa, the Pacific region, Brazil, and other parts of Latin America. So there's everything going on there. And this is the most recent news. Lottery.com announces the launch of international lottery operations, and then all the way back in November when the company received expected notice from NASDAQ. They're all cleaned up on that old news, but we aren't cleaned up. I was going through their filings, and this is the most recent filing. It was sitting up at the top. It is about a stockholder meeting. The problem is it's blank. They've got all the information here except the information you want. What date is the meeting? Blank. It just isn't here. The reason I dove into it was I want to know, are you going to be voting on a reverse stock split? That is the reason I jump into every stockholder meeting, just to see what they're going to vote on, because 99.5% of the time they vote yes. And they're happening now, folks, because the market isn't the greatest. So we're having these happen. So I'm always leery about it. Well, they are. They're voting for a reverse stock split in the range of 1 to, it's blank, up to 1 to, it's blank. We have no clue. But before this just came out a couple of days ago. On the 17th of January, they had this filing come out. The company has not had a stockholder meeting for 2023. So they're in trouble with the NASDAQ. You can be kicked off of the major exchange and thrown down to the OTC for dumb stuff like this. So it looks like they are putting together a meeting. Yeah, you didn't have one. So I don't know how you can actually fix it. But they say here the company shall hold the 2024 annual meeting of its stockholders February 17th in 2025. How about that? So they're having their 2024 meeting here in about 2 weeks. Now, supposedly that will get them out of hot water, I guess. And they're going to be voting on a reverse stock split. And you can almost assuredly believe it's going to happen. Now, here's the thing. These stock splits go into management's discretion. They get 1 year to do it anytime they want. Now, they do have to give us a 5-day notice. They can do that through filings. They can do that through a press release. But that's it. After that, it's a done deal. So I would presume I would be looking for a reverse stock split somewhere here in the future. I don't know why they want to do it, but they do. That is all the information I've got to share with you on lottery. That's not to say that's all there is. I'm just saying that's all I found. Always do your own due diligence behind me. I'm just breezing over these folks. Let's take a look at the relative volume for the company. Holy cannoli. What got in this? Geez, 5 million is her daily average over the last month. Today she did 257 million. My God, folks, 25, 20, I'm not going to do the math. That's a lot of extra volume, folks. Share structure. Whoa, we've got ourselves a low float, and I don't even know what it is. Outstanding share count is just a little over 10 million. Insiders are going to own something. Subtract that from the outstanding share count. That's our float. So whatever the float is, it's less than 10 million, basically. So we absolutely have ourselves a low float. It could be really low. Now, what is curious here is that your market cap is figured out by taking all of your shares and multiplying it times your price. Well, I was looking at this earlier. The price was 95 cents back then. Now we're up to $1.41. Well, do that math. That's going to take you to 15 million. 10 times, just call that $1.50. Okay, 14 million. Well, we're not at 14 million. It says 5. Now, is that because of this morning? It hasn't been updated? Maybe. I did go check to see if the share count was right, because you can't change this number. You can only change that one. That's right. So maybe this only gets updated at the end of the day. Maybe it'll be a different number tomorrow. Taking a look at the financials. Are they making any money? I don't know if all of this is theirs. I know a couple of years of it is. So we've got revenues on the books every single year. Let's just presume the last 2 years they've been here. We've got close to $7 million coming in over the last 2 years, and the profits have dropped a lot. We actually did more at the end of 2023 than 2022 and got way less profits, dropping from 2.4 million down to 1.3 million. What, does paper cost more? And when you're selling digital tickets, how much expense is there to that? Quarterlies. And those are some crazy numbers there. We're doing about $250,000 every quarter. That's what it says. And we're getting to keep some of it. It's always a different number. Let's take a look at our balance sheet. We don't have much in the bank. God, $60,000 is all they got in the bank. Total current assets, though, are $58 million. About $32 million are liabilities. So we do have stockholder equity of $25 million. So we do have everything in the black. We've got revenues, we've got profit, we've got stockholder equity. So we really can't complain about that, especially if you're a day trader, because you're just getting in and getting out. So most of these facts really don't bother us, even if they're bad. Taking a look at the disclosures for the company. Pre-14A. This was the shareholder meeting, right? I've already gone through all of these, so we don't need to look at any of that. Let's go take a look at that chart then. Lottery. And I don't even have to copy it because that should be my yellow. Dun, da, da, da. Look at that. We've got all my horizontal lines in there, of course, because we were trading it. These are my supports and resistances. As day traders, we get in over top of them. That is a speed bump. She likes to speed up and climb to the next one where she slows down, so we get out before the next one. So looking at our yearly chart, you can see she's been in a downtrend all this time until the breakout right now. We were at $3.56 back in February, and our low hit 22 cents in November. We did break through the 200 here in July. Did something happen in July? Yeah, they had news back in July. I can't remember exactly what it was. We had a run there from 87 cents up to $2.18. But again, you can't break out when your 200 is falling. So she came right back down to where she was, continued her fall to that low, then went sideways for a long time here and actually made headway while she was doing that. Let me put this in the right perspective for us. Right here. Goodness gracious. Right here, she got over the 50. That's that big bar. That's the excitement. She got over the 50. She dipped under the 50, crouching like a cat ready to pounce, and took a big jump here, folks. And as you can see, we do have an atypical breakout setup. We have a 200-day MA falling. We have a falling 200 haul. We have our price getting on top of the 50, smack dab in the middle, that 200 squeeze. And right there, our 200 turned blue. Now, it doesn't happen every time when it turns blue, but the wick is lit. Sometimes it's a short wick. Sometimes it's a long wick. But the wick is lit. Psst. It's going, folks. She took that crouch and ripped here from 30 cents. Wow. Up to $1.60. That's a 500% run right there. All of our oscillators are going to the moon on the yearly chart. On our 6-month chart, we've got a high of $2.20. That was that break over the 200. Coming back down to our low, which it says is 19 cents here. Said it was 22 cents over there. Coming over, she got up on top of her 200 haul. rode that until she got to her 200 MA. She jumped here, came up high, dipped under that 200 and did a jump. She did a nice bounce right there, folks. She did a crouch. It was a slow one, but she did it, and she is strong right now, folks. Everything. There was nothing cool right now. The only thing I'm worried about is a strong pullback. When you rock it up like that, you got to come back down to earth for fuel. As you can see, her jump started right at the blue. When it turned blue, the 200 haul, she sparked right there at 30 cents to 72 cents, came down to the 9-day MA, dipped to our 200, just floated over that 200 until all the MAs were over the 200. Everything is turned up. Everything is climbing. There was no reason why this shouldn't climb. Looking down here, even before the climb, you could see things were setting up. They were all flat. Nothing was falling anymore. That's the first thing, folks. When you have a drop, we don't have to have it go back up. It just has to start going sideways. Quit falling. This quit falling, and once she got to the 50, she lurched. Now let's come on down to our shorter chart. I want to see how far away she is from any of her MAs. Actually, that isn't looking bad at all, folks. She took a nice rip here. She went from that 44 cents up to $1.28. You can see she is way high. We're up here at $1.28. Our 9-day is at $1.05. We're 43 cents above the earth. This is a kangaroo. It bounces. It does not fly. That was a big jump, a bionic jump. So it's got to come back down. And because it's so far up, it could easily crack that little 9-day. It may need something stronger, the 20 or the 50. Normally the dynamic duo, the 50 and the 200. So what happened here? She came down to the 20, couldn't hold it. She dipped underneath it. We had a very strong support there holding her. She bounced on that support a few times. Once all of our MAs caught back up to her, there's our 50 again. That's what she launched off of down here, was the 50. Here it is again. She's launching off of that 50. Hit a high. She's pulling back. She did not come down to the 50. I would have been suspect of it. She is already starting to climb. When this pulls back, look for the 50. If she doesn't go all the way to the 50, well, good for you. You got a little more. But do see what she bounced off of. Something even stronger than the 50. The 200 haul. Telling you folks, the 200 haul is a very persuasive MA with the price. It acts like a friend. They get along so well together. They help each other climb that chart. Can you guys see that? Oh, man, get rid of that. All right, let us come back now. That is everything I can share with you on lottery. Let's see what you guys are doing over here. Let me find the right button. I'm lost. I can't find my way home. Here we are. So who's joined the group? Hello, Gladys. Good to see you. S-Bag Smith. Good to see you too. Dino Trades giving a fist bump. I'm glad to see you folks out there. Can you do hims and hers next? Very funny. Hims has been hot. I did see that chart earlier today. Hello, John. IDVV. Well, hello, John. IDVV. We've looked at that a couple times today at Penny Boys. We might have time to look at it if I keep my butt moving here. We're at 438, and I'm going to put us back into the pie. Let me get rid of that. Where did that go? There we go. So many buttons and only one finger to push. We are going to take a look now at zone. We are in the zone with, where'd zone go? There it is. The underdog brought us the zone. The zone, this was an interesting company. This company produces and sells ozone products and chemicals. We'll talk a little bit more about that. They've had lots of expansion into national airports, and not that it's a big deal, but they did have their shares jump from 270,000 up to 8.2 million in just 2 months. But that was probably just to meet up with the NASDAQ minimum requirement. You're on the major exchange, there's a minimum requirement for everything. Minimum bid price, how many shareholders you have, how much stockholder equity you have, the market cap. I mean, everything. Tick, 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 tick. You got to cover all those boxes. One of them is a minimum float. I do believe it is 1.5 million. So all these companies that have been doing reverse stock splits going under a million, they've broken compliance. And just so you know, the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange just a few months ago made a new rule that said you can't go doing a reverse stock split, breaking a rule of compliance to get compliance. No, you got to stay compliant while you're getting compliance. So that stuff ain't going to work anymore. So maybe they just added more shares to get into compliance. But nobody's going to complain about 8.2 million shares. So Zone, Clear Core Solutions, finished the day at $1.17. She is currently down 3.2%. This is a penny stock on the New York Stock Exchange. This is an American company. They are based out of Nebraska. So I could read this. Well, I will read this because it's just concise. Clean Core Solutions engages in developing, manufacturing, and selling cleaning products that produces pure aqueous ozone for professional, industrial, and home use. The company's products include fill stations, power caddies, and power mini caddies, ice treatment machines, commercial laundry, yeah, not what you were thinking, right? And residential laundry. It offers products and solutions that are marketed for janitorial and sanitation, ice machine cleaning, laundry, and industrial industries. Now, I always like to go to a website to get as much information as I can because a picture gives you 1,000 words. They've got a lot of equipment that uses their ozone product chemicals. I am familiar with ozone products. Ozone. I used to work for a company that came in and would clean up a home after they had a fire. It was a shambles. We would have to clean all the soot and all the ash off of everything. I mean, everything, folks, the walls, the ceiling, everything. But you still had this horrific smell of a house that had been caught on fire. So we would bring in ozone machines. And they're just machines that look like fans, except they're putting ozone out. Ozone has extra oxygen. Oxygen purges contaminants. We would drape it off. It doesn't have to be airtight. We would drape it off and it would start to ozone. And you'd come back the next day and wow, it smelled righteous. Well, I walked into that room one day to get something. I was told not to, but I did anyways. And I breathed and I couldn't. You would think with extra oxygen, you could breathe. No, it was like, I don't know, a funeral parlor or something, man. I was breathing death. You could tell it was not right. So this is some real wild stuff. And they use it in their equipment. They use it in their laundry to add to the water, to clean your clothes better. So they've got a lot of different things that they are working with. Jumping over to my favorite news site to get a blurb on everything about this company. Clean Core Solutions is at the forefront of innovative cleaning technology. The company specializes in developing and manufacturing cleaning products that utilize pure aqueous ozone, a powerful disinfectant, safe for professional, industrial, and home use. At the heart of Clean Core's offerings is its patented nanobubble technology, which effectively cleans, sanitizes, and deodorizes surfaces in high-touch areas without the need for harmful chemicals. Clean Core's diverse range of industries, including janitorial and sanitation, ice machine, cleaning, laundry, and various industrial applications. Its products are indispensable in environments such as retail establishments, distribution centers, factories, warehouses, restaurants, schools, universities, airports, healthcare facilities, food service centers, and commercial buildings like offices and malls. Recently, Clean Core has achieved significant milestones. On May 1st of last year, the company announced the expansion of its relationship with Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas. They sold them a bunch of Power Caddy units. Furthermore, on the 14th of last year, Clean Core got more Power Caddies into Northeastern United States National Airport. I'm not quite sure which one. In addition to airports, Clean Core has been seeing rapid growth in its hotel verticals. This includes the deployment of various products across all Sonesta branded properties operated by the Bird Hotel Group in Phoenix. Their most recent news, Clean Core Solutions launches product rollout at major international New York airport. Maybe that's the one they were talking about, Northeastern. On the 6th, Clean Core appoints Travis Buchanan as the president. And then on the 18th of December, Clean Core applauds EPA's recent ban of 2 cancer-causing chemicals. So now that you know a little bit about the company and what they do, let's take a look at the relative volume. We're down today. She's been down for a while. On the major exchange, our daily average has been less than a quarter million. Today, we did even less than that, 180 million. No, less than, yeah, that's right, less than a quarter million. And today we did 182,000. She actually fell today. See what we have for our share count. As I said, 8.2 million. I don't know what the insiders own. Subtract that, whatever it is, that's going to give us our float. So right now, we've got a low float just as it stands. Could be considerably less. Market cap right now, it's about 10 million. Financials, are they making any money? Yeah, but they're not making as much as they used to. It's been falling over the last 3 years, presuming this has been their company all this time. 2022, we were at 2.6 million. Right now, we're at 1.6 million. But hey, here's the good news. Look at the profits. Seems no matter what they're earning, their profits are always the same, about $750 to $790,000. Tongue's getting tied. Let me untie it. Okay. I know what it is. I haven't had any nicotine. Haven't had any caffeine. Come on, folks. Now we're talking. Gotta have my vices. I got one more vice I'd like to partake in, but we're gonna bypass that. I know it's way past 420. We'll get to it. All right, so let's see what we've got here. Total revenues. Let's take a look at the balance sheet. We got about 2 million in the bank, 7.5 million in assets, about half of that in liabilities, 3.7 million. So we've got revenues, we've got profit, we've got stockholder equity of 3.7 million. Taking a look at our disclosures, can't remember if there was anything to look at over here. 8K. Why did I put some notes up about this stuff? Material change, discounted promissory note. Looks like they've had somebody come in and give them some money. And this is the deal for it. Looks like they gave them a good deal too. Looks like they sold it at a 20% discount, whatever it is they did. And we'll go back to one other one here. 8K, departure of directors or certain officers. Right, they appointed the new president, Mr. Travis Buchanan. So that pretty much covers everything on our filings. Did we cover everything there? Seems kind of fast. I guess we did. All righty then. If I made a mistake, so be it. Stuff happens. Shit happens. Did he say that? Well, you should be at least 18 years old watching my show. By golly. All right, we're going to come on down to the blue one. That should be zone. We're going to take this back to a year, get our 52-week high and low. And oh, how sad is that? You can see we've been playing this off and on for a long time. Look at this. I only put up my horizontal yellow lines, my supports and resistances when I'm playing it. So we were playing it a year ago, and we have playing it a little while ago. Maybe we start playing it again. We have a high a full year ago of $4.24. Now, I want to see something here. I want to go back 3 years. All right, that happens to be when she came on the market. That's what I was curious of. So she came on the market April 26th, 2024. Looks like she came on the market at about $3.50, hitting that high of 424, and then going into this downtrend for a whole year. Yeah, we had some pops and drops in here. Had a nice one here. She went from $1.20 up to $2.59. That's over 100% run. No clue what did it. Came back down and continued her fall to 87 cents. That's our 52-week low. She hit that at the end of January, and now she's bouncing up. She is on top of her 9, just up underneath her 50. But we don't have a 200-day MA on our yearly chart. I do see all of our oscillators are looking like they're trying to get some heat on the table right now. Take a look at our 6-month 4-hour view. We're still in a downtrend. There's our pop. 200-day MA came into the picture. It was going flat here. I could see why she was trying to run. Looked like she had a good breakout going. She came back down. The 200 is not yet flat, folks. So she could not really bounce off of this. So she dipped underneath it, came back to test it. It still is falling. You're not going to break out on a falling MA, a 200. She's come back down. We have another strong rip. You can get pops, folks, but this is the lesson we learn. When she rips high on a falling 200, take your gains. That's the lesson to be learned here, because it comes back down. And if you want to get back in because you think it's going to run again, you can come back in down here. But don't think she's going to continue climbing if the 200 is still falling. And I am on a 4-hour chart. That's what we're looking at. Off of that low, we had a very quick bounce. I like to see that. You have shoppers out there that look for low bubbles, 52-week lows. They'll go look at the fundamentals. And if they see value in the company, they will buy the stock immediately, and you will see it jump. So when you see a bounce off of a low bubble fast, that could be a good jump just right then and there. Looking at that jump, she went from 87 cents up to $1.73, 100% run right there. Oscillators, they are all flat right now. Everything has gone flat. The price is flat. But what have we got here, folks? You're darn tootin'. We've got ourselves an atypical breakout. Oh, 200 on the top, 200 haul on the bottom, price on the 50. 200 is turned up. The wick is burning. Folks, watch it. Put this on your watch list, folks. She is ready to do something. She's calm now, but look at that 20. That 200 is pushing up, and that's a very persuasive MA. The price likes to follow and take its initiative from the 20. So the 20 is moving up. I think the price is going to move up, get a kick in the butt from the 20 haul or 200 haul, go to and through the 200. Now, it's not exactly flat, but we are so close to being flat here that if she can push the price up over the 200, she'll tug that 200 up just enough to make it flat. She will probably come back down and test it a couple times, staying above it. That's going to make it even more flat, giving it a chance to turn up. And then you're going to get your run. So this is really looking like a nice setup on our 4-hour chart. Take a look at our 1-hour, 20-day downtrend. Hit that low bubble, bounced up through our 200, come up to this strong support and resistance, back down to our 50. Nice landing there, folks. That's what we call a healthy pullback. It's scary as hell, but she had to come down to something to bounce. The 9 wasn't strong enough. The 20 wasn't strong enough. It was way up there. So it landed on the 50. Then it crept down to the 200 haul. This tells me it needs something strong to push off of. You push hard off of something hard. So the 50 is still climbing. That looks really, really good. Our 20 is just turned up with the price up underneath it, bouncing off of that 200. This is all looking prime for a hard run right now, folks. Oscillators, let's not ignore them. We've got a recovery going on right now. Our PPO is just turned up after being flat the whole bloody day. Our ADX, it's weak. It's very weak because everything has been flat, but it's in the right place. Our green line is our trend, uptrend. It is on the top, meaning it's dominant. It's not very strong, but it's dominant. But the strength is coming. The yellow tells you how much strength there is. On the floor is weak. Up here is strong. It's starting to come up. And look at our red line fall down. So our uptrend is stronger than our downtrend, and we're getting more strength to it. God, I'm telling you, folks, this looks really prime for a rip. Same thing here. Our MACD is just turned up. We got a crossover happening right now with the green bar sitting there on top. And our RSI It's bouncing off of my support and resistance on my RSI. I use them down here as well as my charts. I find where the price falls underneath, and normally that's where the price drops whenever it comes underneath this line. So I don't ever buy anything underneath that line. I wait until it's on top. That's when she's climbing. That's one of my signals. She's on top and she's pulling away right now, folks. She's starting to climb. Still a bit cool. She's down there at 51. I don't want to see her any less than 55, but it's pointed in the right direction. So I'm excited. Can't you tell? Squeeze my chart back down so we don't see a lot of activity, right? It looks really planted, but under the current, things are building. We have just enough to show us there that things are happening. Let me come in tighter. Look, folks, 200. Now this one is climbing. That's okay. A climbing 200 is better than a falling 200. We are on top of the 50. You don't have to be on it. Just be over it on top. And here's our 200 haul still falling, right? It's going to go flat now because everything's climbing. It's going to turn blue. Boom. We're going to have a run here. Every single chart is exciting. God dang it. I just wet myself. I'm lying, but it is exciting. We've got ourselves a super duper hot looking chart here with all of the technicals warming up. Look at this, folks. Everything is starting to turn up. This is going to be on my watch list tomorrow. You don't put it on yours, it's going to be your loss. That's my prediction. All right, let me jump on over here and talk to you guys a little bit if I can find you. I always get lost in the woods. Super sticker. Thank you, Mark. Mark does this so regularly that I have to claim it as a dependent. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Super stickers and shout outs is my tip jar, folks. I'm not that proud. I was a waiter. I love being a waiter. When someone tips me, to me, that is the sincerest thank you you can get. I mean, right? So that's why I liked being a waiter. I had so many jobs where I didn't get thanked at all. I used to get verbal thanks, monetary thanks. I loved being a waiter. I didn't care about how busy I had to be. I loved it. It made me feel good in here. That's why I like doing this with you guys. I can tell you appreciate what I'm doing, even if I'm not perfect at it. You know I'm being sincere and being honest, and I'm not hyping. I'm not giving you any BS. So that counts for a lot, don't it? Anybody new down here? Scene Turk. Hello, lottery is up over $1.70, still climbing. Well, I saw it at 95 cents, and we saw it at $1.41, $1.70. Boom! I was in that a long time ago. I did do a video on it, but it's outdated now. That's all old news. Don't even bother watching it. All righty. What time is she? 4:58. It's past 4:20. Do you mind if No, I'll wait. No, it's okay. I appreciate it, but I'll wait. All right, let's go take a... Well, before we do that, let me get rid of that. Yep. All right, let's go take a look at another stock. We are now going to take a look at SkyX. SkyX, I am unfamiliar with. This came to us by way of Dino Trades. SkyX designs and sells a unique electrical outlet. Interesting. As well as a smart home device. They just secured a new contract and they've got a really low float. SkyX, known as SkyX Platforms, finished today at $2.05. She was up 18.5% today, jumped 32 cents. She is a hot penny stock on the NASDAQ. She is an American company based out of Florida. Now, it's just easier to show you what they do than to talk it out. So I'm going to refresh this. Watch this little quick video. There's the plug. You connect it to your lights, your fixtures, and that. That goes into the ceiling, and you just snap it in. To give you a better view of what's going on, this is what you screw into your ceiling. That is the plug. This is going to make your electricity right there. You hook all your wires up behind it. You never have to play with wires, do any of that. I used to hate doing ceiling fans with lights. All them wires, having to hang it, it was a pain in the butt. So you have this that you put in the ceiling. Then you put in the plug. This goes on to your items. And that all goes right up into the ceiling. Ta-da! Just that quick and easy, right? Now, they've also got this other product. Quit going there, John. They've also got this other product called the all-in-one platform. I was pretty impressed by this. This is a dish thing that goes into the ceiling. It has all sorts of stuff. It has a translucent light built into it that stays powered. When power goes off, you can change colors. You can give the room a little bit of ambiance, kind of a toy. Also has speakers built into it, and it runs on voice commands. So you're going to be talking to this thing. Does a lot of things. It connects to anything and everything that can be connected into your house and all the things that we're going to be bringing into the house, including your devices. It is a smoke detector and a CO2 detector. It connects to any of your devices for music. So you can have any of your music playing. It is also a intercom for the house. You can put these in multiple rooms and talk to each other. Listen to your kids. We had one in our house when I was a kid. Parents used to listen in on us all the time. This can also be used as emergency internet and 911 calling. That's pretty important for some people. Wi-Fi repeater. I thought that was pretty cool. It's like a rabbit. You put these in rooms for areas where your Wi-Fi gets weak because your house is so big. This will make the signal stronger the further out you put these. As I said, it connects to all of your devices. It could be your fans, your curtains, your air conditioner, whatever. Anything in your house, this can be hooked up to. And it's emergency backup lighting. And they've got other stuff too. So you want to learn about it? Just come on over here and jump on into their website. Now we can jump over to the news. We've been here 4 times already. I'm going to start back here in November when they wanted to brag about their record revenues. Always good thing to hear about. They hit 22 million in their third quarter compared to 21.6 the year before. Coming up into recent news, December 17th, the company collaborates with JIT Electrical Supply, a leading builder supplier of electrical lighting and ceiling fan products. You can see where that's going. And then we got another piece of news on the 15th of January. The company announces that it will begin supplying its products to 140 commercial units in January 2025. So there's a contract that they've just entered into. So we see they are steady doing business. And you know, with the current condition of the world, 5G was made for devices. It was made for machines. It wasn't made for people. We get some benefits from it, but it wasn't made for us. It was made to get us out of the way. We are the slowest component when getting things done. So if a machine can talk to a machine and get rid of us, you just get things done quicker. And that's where we are heading. And their stuff is in that niche market right now. Take a look at the relative value for SkyX. Boom! She's got 400% growth on her volume today, going from 622,000 shares a day as an average over the last 30 days to 2.4 million. Share structure. It's average. We got 102 million outstanding. Oh, insiders own the largest share. Now, wait a minute. Something's not right here. We must have looked at this before. I'm having deja vu. Over here, you can see the dates. That's 2022. What drew my attention to it, besides the dates, is these two numbers are supposed to add up to that. That doesn't. This is the most recent number. I'm going to presume that's it. You can dive into the recent financial, and if you just go down, I think it's to the second blue box. Yeah, every 10K set up the same. Once you learn where to find information, you can go right to it every time and find what you're looking for. I think it's the second blue box down at the bottom. They show you all the shares, common shares, B shares, and it shows you how many shares authorized, how many shares outstanding as of such a date. And you can get the number there. I'm going to presume it's 102 million. Our float isn't going to be any higher, could be considerably less. Market cap is very current. That is from the 5th. We got 177 million as a market cap. Are they making money with these products? Yes and no. Maybe they just came on the market. This sounds like a company that may have just come onto the market. I haven't dove into it that deeply. There's not much going on in 2021 and 2022 2023 had a huge jump if this was their revenues before. We are at $59 million here at the end of 2023, and they only got to keep 18 million. But when you're dealing with products like hardware and computer chips and stuff like that, you got to expect a lot of expenses. Quarterlies, yeah, they're doing an average of 22 million every 3 months. And they're doing an average of roughly 6.5 million every 3 months. Balance sheet. We got money in the bank, about 10 million. We got about 65 million in assets, about 61 million in liabilities. So we do have some stockholder equity here, 3.8 million. But really, everything's in the black, right? We got revenues, we got profit, and we got stockholder equity. Everything looks good from a day trader's point of view. Let's take a look now at the disclosures. Did I take any notes on these? I remember. Form 4s are filed whenever the insiders acquire or dispose of the company's stock, the same shares that you and I buy. But they can get them and lose them in a lot of different ways. So I look particularly just for the buys and the sells. If you come right here into the center underneath code, if it's a P, it's a purchase. If it's an S, it's a sale. If it's any other letter, it's something else. This is something else. This has to do with taxes, I believe it is. And then one of them has to do with restricted shares. And then the other one is something else. None of them are purchases or sales, so I'm really not concerned about them. And then again, this SC13D, we looked at an SC13G. There is a difference. Both of them are new investors that come in, buy enough shares to own a percentage of the company, become an insider, become a partner. The difference, and I can't recall which is which. One is a silent partner. Just take my money and make me rich. The other one wants a say in what goes on in the company. In either case, this one again is not current. I did dive into this. I think it was June or May of last year. Where'd that date go? There it is. May of last year. Yeah, the old memory's still ticking up there. So this isn't current, so I'm not too concerned about that either. So there's our information for SkyX. Now let's go get some charting for SkyX. Oh, I like the fact I've already got these set up and don't have to look stupid trying to type. All right, T. Got her up to a 1-year chart. Our 52-week high is today, $2.13. Our 52-week low is at 72 cents. That was all the way back in April. And we are in the midst of a trend change right now. Look at the big bowl on that chart. You can see the 200 is coming down, already went flat right here. Right at the flat point is when she's decided to take off, as well as all the other MAs. They're all climbing right with her. 200 is now climbing as well. All of our oscillators are climbing. Every single one of them is pushing up, and we have a strong ADX. We have a strong MACD. Oh, and we are going into the overbought right now. Everything is looking superb on our yearly chart. Take a look at that 6-month 4-hour view. Looking even better. There's our downtrend ending right there. Go. Let's take a look why. See our 200 haul? It did jump a little early. She's on the 50. It just turned blue. I mean, it's all close enough, right, folks? You can see this concoction here is igniting over and over and over again. And once she got on top of a rising 200, she just started to climb. Now, she has pulled back. She's playing her games like stocks do. But now we've got a solid bounce. All of our MAs are underneath. They were falling here. But right now, everything is picture perfect. Everything is climbing in unison, close to each other, bouncing off of each other. It's looking great. All of our oscillators are climbing, pushing up. We've got a little bit of volatility in there, but you want volatility. You want that if you're a day trader because volatility brings big bounces. Big bounces give you a chance to take gains, and then as she falls, get back in. Man, I know people who play the same stock 3, 4, 5 times a day because it just keeps bouncing. While others are complaining about the stock going sideways, they found a big gap and just keep making money on it. So it's all about your perspective. Are you looking and waiting, or are you taking and getting gains? Jumping on down to our 1 hour, 20 day, looking better and better. Our low is $1.18. We're on an uptrend here. She bounced on the 200 on that low. She bounced on the 200 there, put a wick down there. That's it. Not even the full bar, and pushed off. Got up on top of that 9, got up on top of the 200 haul. It is now turned blue. Boink. Now we're off and running. She's on top of every single MA. All the MAs are starting to climb. These here, we got 2 of them, the 20 and the 200. We're actually kind of rolling over. So they've got to kind of work up, which I think is going to give it a spring. Boink. A spring. I think she's going to bounce. I think we're looking at another really nice chart, folks. Let's come on down to our 5-day, 15-minute. All right, our 200 was rolling around here. She was climbing, she's falling, now she's coming back up. But the difference here is all of our MAs were under the 200 here. They pushed up here. She has bounced off of the rising MAs, not the 200, and now she's starting to climb. So she is away from the 200 using this fan. Look at how nicely combed those are. This nice fan of MAs. The 20 is dipped underneath the 9 is dipped underneath the 20. We're going to get a springboard effect here, folks. She's pushing herself up on top of that 9. The 20 is going to flicker, and all of these MAs are just going to start to push her up. Let's look at our oscillators. We got volume, but it has petered out right now, but it is aftermarket. What we want to see is that green volume come in. This could easily run in the morning, folks, and I mean pre-market. You may want to watch this. Our PPO right now, I can't tell if she's flat or starting to turn up, but it's not falling anymore. That's what I told you earlier. Just stop falling. We definitely have our green trend line going up hard and fast. Our strength line was falling, but it's turned. It says, no, no, no. I see what's going on here, and I think it's going to do a UE. Looking at our MACD, she has just stopped falling. That's good enough. It stopped falling. That was a hard fall. Now it's going flat. These red bars have quit getting bright. They're now getting dim and getting smaller. And our RSI, look, we're up at 60. It's not even that cold. And she has been climbing from 53 all the way up to 60 right now. So things are looking good on this chart. This is another very good chart. I would be putting this on my watch list as well. I'm going to just fly on into the next stock, folks. I know I've been doing a lot of talking, and I know you're here to look at the charts and the stocks and not just gab with me. So let's dive into the next one. We are going to take a look now at ticker ALLR. Who brought this to me? Javier Macchiato. I like macchiato cherries. I know that's different. All right, ALLR. This is a research and development cancer biotech. Whenever you hear me say research and development, that means they're not making any money. They have a very low float, which is rather curious because to make money, they normally have to sell shares. So maybe they had a reverse stock split here recently. They have reached an agreement with the SEC. This is some really different, strange news, and it's really the only catalyst I see. And we have a lot of Form 4s, but rather than go through and look at them all of them are to do with incentive programs for the insiders. So we don't have to consider any of those. So SkyX, is that right? No. I almost did it, didn't I? ALLR, Alarity Therapeutics. This is an American company out of Massachusetts, finished today at $1.04. She was down almost 4% today. She dropped 4 cents. She has a penny stock on the NASDAQ. This is a late clinical stage precision medicine company actively advancing a pipeline of in-licensed oncology therapeutics for patients with difficult to treat cancers. Now, they say they have a pipeline, which means they've got drugs they're working with. They say they're a late stage clinical company, which means they're dealing with, I'm going to presume, stage 2 and stage 3, which is good they've gotten past the safety, so they normally buy up things that other companies can't afford to take through the rest of the trials, because trials take a lot of money. But these trials take a lot of time. Trial 2 can take anywhere from a year to 3 years, and trial 3 can take anywhere from a year to 5 years. So you've got a long ways to go before they hit the market. But anytime they have good news, pop goes the weasel. But it comes down real quick, because the next piece of news is going to be a while, because these trials take a long time. So what did I find out about this company? Well, really the only thing I want to look at is that catalyst. You can look at the pipeline of drugs that they have. We're not going to dive into any of that. We're wondering why the stock should be moving, right? So Alarity Therapeutics announces a filing of Form 8K regarding a settlement agreement in principle with the SEC. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't fully understand this, but I'm going to read it to you anyways. The settlement relates to the company's disclosures occurring during or prior to fiscal year 2022. That's how far back this goes. And this news is from January 30th. Regarding meetings with the United States Food and Drug Administration concerning their new drug application, an NDA, for their drug davitinib, which was submitted to the FDA in 2021. We are pleased to have reached this agreement in principle with the SEC. This settlement allows us to fully focus on advancing stenoparib and delivering a novel therapy to advanced ovarian cancer patients who currently have very few or no treatment options. Alarity remains financially positioned to continue its core operations, including the ongoing development of stenoparib as planned in 2026. What I gather from here, you kind of get the impression that this settling this argument or whatever it was gave them the rights to get this drug out there. No. I don't understand it completely, but what we can clearly see here is they're still in trials with this drug, and they're going to be continuing these trials up through 2026. But they've gotten a green light now because of some red light that came up with the SEC because of a filing with the FDA concerning the NDA. I love my job. So that is everything I can really share with you except the pipeline. I'll let you dive into that. ALLRs. What was her relative volume today? Well, she was up about 1 million shares, jumping from roughly 3 million to 4 million shares. Share structure is really nice. I don't know what the float is, but it's super low. We got an outstanding share count of 4.4 million. Even if the insiders don't own anything, our float is only 4.4 million. Wow! If the if the insiders own anything, it's going to be even lower. So we've got ourselves an excellent float. But of course, what comes with a low float is a low market cap. We are at 4.7 million. Financials for the company. They making any money? No. They're research and development. That's a dead giveaway right there. Quarterlies? No. Not making any money. Do they have any money in the bank? Oh, please let them have money in the bank. We've got a low float, so they're not putting shares on the market over and over again, public offerings, as far as I can tell. Now, as I said, maybe they just did a reverse stock split here recently. Get all your shares out there, then do a reverse stock split. But the price would be way up higher if they did. So I'm guessing they've got enough money. 18 million in the bank, 20 million in assets, only 7 million in liabilities. We've got about 13 million in stockholder equity in a research and development company that isn't making any revenues, that has no profits, that has no products to sell. I'm impressed. I don't know how they do it, but it is not a bag. That's why I don't like biotechs, especially research and developments. You're normally holding a bag. This is not a bag. Okie dokie, as I said, look at all these Form 4s. There was a lot of Form 4s there. None of them are concerned. And then the most recent 8K there. And this one has to do with that FDA, SEC, NDA news. All righty, let's go take a look now at the chart for ALLR. I don't have to copy it. I've got it all set up. Number 5. That be it. I like it when I make my job easy. So that is an awfully flat chart for a year, but that's what you get with biotechs. That's what I notice. Most of the time they're flat with little rolls and then a bing on some news and then a pop and then roll and ding and then drop. That's what you normally see. I can't even see the dings here. So let's zoom in on this a little bit, a lot of bit, right there. Ooh, couldn't see that. What? They must have had a reverse stock split. All right, I do not see a purple bubble down here telling me, and I don't know where to look except to go through filings or do a Google search. They tell us that a year ago, I am on a yearly chart, right? Yes, a year ago, this was $282. And our current price is $1.04, hitting a low of 90 cents halfway through December. No, that just can't be. Yeah, maybe it is, but I am suspect there was a reverse stock split, which gave them the low float and multiplied the price to give us a high stock price. If there wasn't a reverse stock split, I'm just as surprised. A stock that was $282 a year ago is $1 now. I'll bet you there was a failed drug trial back here, a failed 3 or something. After all their expense, it just fell. And we can see that 200, that is way up there. You know, just out of curiosity, I'm going to go back 5 years. Well, look, folks, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They say the high, the high on December 21st, 2021, that is 122121, was $15,288,000. No, you and I both know that's crap. So there was a reverse stock split. That is how they got the share count down so far. They put all their shares in the market and yanked them all back in. And for however low the price was, it only got up to $1. Maybe a little higher and it's fallen back. Let's come down to real life and see what we got going on here. I would like to know when the reverse stock split was, because you can at least say from this point back, that's exaggerated prices. We can't trust them. You can trust the chart. You just can't trust the prices. So let's come on down to, an hour. All right, we're flat. Just to make sure, let's look at the 4 hour. All right, I'm coming back down to the hour. So we're flat. We were here on the 200 at $1.04, which is where we're at right now. She ran up to $1.99, came back underneath the 200, which was climbing, but rolling. You can see she's rolling. It's like a big egg. And right now she is starting to roll down. All of our MAs are rolling down right now. And we're underneath every single one of them, including the 9. You're not going to climb if you're not on top of the 9. So this is looking like she is falling right now. All of our oscillators are underneath on the wrong side. The only thing we can say right now is our red line is still on the bottom. Once this gets on top, we're going to be in a full-fledged fall. If we can get this to turn around, she might come up, but I'm not seeing a lot of that on the chart right at this moment. Let's come on down to our 5-day, 15-minute. Yeah. All right. We are in a downtrend, $1.45. She came down to 97 cents. She was trying to break out right here. You can see our 200 took a bend right there. These big pushes up, that tugs it. That tugs it up. It just takes a while for it to happen. There's our tug. This probably happened from that jump right there. This is when she's trying to break out. She's not having a lot of success. What do we got? Well, our 200 isn't blue yet, is it? The 200 haul. She's trying. This was a mighty attempt, but she came back down to the 200. It's going blue and purple, but she isn't going. But the wick is lit. She's riding that 50. And right here, folks, she took a big bounce. She was at about $1.10 and went to $1.27, fell before the bell, continued to fall after the bell, down to 97 cents. That's our new low. And she has turned up. And right now, she is setting up for that hot atypical breakout. We're down here underneath that 200 haul. She's on top of the 20, trying to get up. Now, this is persuasive. On top of the 20 is a good sign. She is still to get on top of the 9, though. She's on top of the 20, but not the 9, which tells me she's probably going to pop right up on top of that 9, be so close to the 200 haul that she's going to skip up onto the 50. That will give everything a chance to level out. And there we go. Psst. The wick is lit. There's our 200 MA, 200 haul, 50. The price is going to be near it. Put this on your watch list, folks. ALLR. These atypical breakouts always have nice runs. Don't sit around waiting for them to go to the moon. Take your gains, let her come down, enter again. Okay, let me take a breather here at 7:25. Oh my God. I only got through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stocks. Egads, I talk a lot. What you guys doing over here? Hello, Bold. Yeah, we did cover lottery 202. Jeez, oh, Pete's. That was a good one. Thank you, Javier. Javier found that reverse stock split happened September 11th, a 1 in 30. 1 in 30, I'll bet you that ain't their only reverse stock split. Why? Because if you take 15 million and divide it by 30, that's going to give you $500,000, right? So that high is still too high. So there's got to be another reverse stock split somewhere back there because they compound. If there was a 1 in 10, it's going to be 30 times 10. It will be a 300 times on the price. So there's got to be another one out there. I appreciate you doing that homework for me, Javier. Very much appreciated. All right. We are going to take a look at MGOL. That was the last one I had gotten information on. So let's go do that right now. I've still got some of my voice left, so we'll get through this. All right, Mogul. Who brought me Mogul? Kashera. Oh boy, we got lots of people interested in this. Crazy strong volume today and a really small float. Mogul, this is MG Global. On the wrong page. This is a U.S. company based out of Florida. Finished today at 18.5 cents. She was up 33%. That's where she's at right now. This is a penny stock on the major exchange. She is on the NASDAQ. MGO Team is a privately owned global company with design, development, manufacturing, sales, marketing, distribution professionals located in New York, Miami, and London. They really make themselves sound special, big. I was a little disappointed when I jumped into the due diligence here, folks. Let me show you what I found. This is their website. Unimpressive. Not a lot of information. This is the biggest thing. Whoa, we're on the NASDAQ. Great, you're on the NASDAQ. What is it that you do? Well, I'm reading. Okay, you got online shoppers, online revenue. What is it you do? Okay, found some information. What is this? You make flagpoles. Really? Yes, really. They make flagpoles. But they got something else too, right? Yeah, they got a line of clothes by Macy's. Macy's is some sports star, maybe soccer. I don't know. But you know what? They don't have Macy's. Not anymore. They got rid of it. So what they got are flagpoles. Yeah, we got a public company on the market selling flagpoles. MGO Global is a dynamic, digitally native lifestyle brand portfolio company headquartered in Florida. Established in 2018, the company has quickly gained recognition for its innovative approach to direct-to-consumer digital commerce. They have operations in 3 distinct business segments, really only 2, now only 1. The Messy Store, a pioneering venture launched in 2018. This premium brand of clothing offers a range of functional and sporty casual wear, accessories, and homewares inspired by soccer legend Lionel Messi. Also, flagpoles, introduced in 2023. This segment focuses on high-end residential flagpoles and related patriotic products. The recent sale of its Misi brand rights and strategic focus on, let me say it again, the recent sale of its Misi brand rights now allows them to focus on their flagpole stand business, which they expect to further stabilize and grow the company's revenues with. Well, they've got to have something else in there. I don't know what's going on here, but flagpoles isn't going to be enough. I don't care if they're high-end flagpoles. How many flagpoles can you possibly sell? You're going to get repeat business? Probably not for decades, right? So they've gotten rid of their clothing line. I don't know what they got for it. MGO Global and Heidmar announced Form 4 registration statement for proposed business combination has been declared effective. This was about 2 weeks ago. They have a combination going on, obviously, here. Stockholders are to vote on it. Let me see if we can get some information here. We'll get some bullets. Unanimous board recommendations for the merger, plan to uplist to the NASDAQ. Well, where the heck are you now? You're on the NASDAQ. What the heck? Has it already happened? I'm a little behind here, folks. What's going on? So we don't see a whole lot of information here. They've got some deal that they've just done. Proposed business special meeting, but they don't tell us what the bloody business is. I'm looking, folks. This transaction structure appears designed to provide Heidmar with a faster path to public markets compared to traditional IPO, while giving MGO shareholders exposure to the shipping sector. Yeah, which has shown resilience amid global trade fluctuations. There we go. So they are getting into shipping now, so they can ship their flagpoles for free, right? So what was the relative volume around MGOL? What? Wow. Well, I don't have any idea what this new company's business is. I mean, not what their business is, how much money they're making doing it. That's what we need to know. So we need to dive in and get some information on their financials, because that is a huge jump on our relative volume, going from roughly 18 million to roughly 350 million today. Holy cow. Told you there was a lot of volume here. Also told you she had a super duper low float. I don't know what it is. Outstanding share count is about 3 million. Float can't be any higher than that. I figure the insiders own something. So again, we've got ourselves a super duper low float. Look, folks, this company just did what today? I want you to think about that, not just gloss over it. They did 348 million shares, and they got 3 million shares. What? Wow. Wow. So that means every share had to sell 300 times or 150 times. That's what I'm saying, folks. Every share in one day had to sell over 150 times to get that many shares. Now, maybe my math is wrong, but you're getting the point. And some people aren't going to sell their shares. So what you end up with is supply and demand. And it can very much look like a short squeeze, because that price will start going parabolic. And when you look down at level 2, you'll see a whole bunch of buyers on one side, and you'll see the sellers, and it'll be one order. It'll say 1. That's 100 shares. And then it'll be a price. Then one order for 100 shares. It'll be a higher price. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Higher price, higher price, higher price. And all of a sudden, that thing starts to rip. And what have you got? A halt. Halt it hot. Halt it up. This is a good time to get in or a good time to watch it. And if you're already in, cross your fingers. Looks like she's going to rip some more. So hot stock with a super duper low float. Financials for the company. Is all that theirs? It's been growing every single year, going from roughly $700,000 to $5.3 million. And the profits have been growing right along with their revenues. This is looking really good. I like to see steady growth. That's very reassuring. Quarterly reports. So much for steady growth, right? All right, so a year ago we were at 1 million. We jumped to 2.5, and then something drastic happened. We started bouncing all over the place here, and right now we're just lucky to be getting over 500,000. The good news is that hardly cost them squat. They got to keep most of that money, $492,000. Balance sheet. They've got money in the banks. They can keep paying their employees, 1.4 million. We got 2.8 million in assets. What is this? A minus liabilities. Liabilities is already a minus number. It's never in parentheses like that. So that's like a minus, which means it would be a positive, which means they should be adding it on to us. So I'm not quite sure what that means. Bottom line is, though, we got lots of stockholder equity. We've got 2.9 million out of 2.8 million. Yes, that's exactly what they did. They took this and added it to that. You got to love a company who has positive liabilities, don't you? Awesome. Looking good. Everything's in the black, and even better than that. Looking at the filings, we got an 8K material change. Quick and easy. Look at that top line. Yeah, that says it's something we should look at. The company entered into a definitive business combination, a plan of merger, dated June 18th, 2024, with Heidmar. The company is organized, blah, blah. Well, that's kind of interesting. It's not an American company. It's organized under the laws of the Republic of the Marshall Islands. Marshall Islands. Wonder what that is all about. It is Ship Invest Corporation and RIA Marine Holdings. So those are their subsidiaries. So they've got a couple of subsidiaries. Anything else over here to consider? We'll take a look at this one last 8K out of January. Company convened a special meeting. What are you voting on? Warrant exercise. Okay, warrant exercise. You don't have to vote to exercise warrants, do you? In either case, they did approve it. How many are there? About 3 million, it looks like. The holders of record, 1.5. Somewhere between 1.5 and 3 million. The reason I bring that up is every time a warrant is exercised, it creates a new share. It goes into the float. So when you see warrants being exercised, and they say 320 million warrants are being exercised, these are warrants. These are stocks you can trade. They're penny stocks. These are coupons that people can trade or they can buy and hang on to. And they give you the right to buy a share of stock 3-5 years down the road at a guaranteed low price. So it may be 90 cents now. The warrant goes live at $1, gives you the right to buy a stock at $1.25. Well, when the price hits $1, you can buy one for $1.25 with your warrant. Ain't no good deal now. No, but 3 years from now, it could be $20 for $1.25 in a warrant. You can buy a share. So that's what makes warrants hot. All right, that is all the information we need to talk about. Let's go take a look at the chart. What time is it? Oh man, we're gonna set a record here. I think 5:48 is as long as we've ever had a show. So you are here with me setting a new world record. Call Guinness. All right, that's a 2-year chart. I didn't mean to hit that button. 2 years ago, we were at $32 with lots of volatility and a huge drop. Still a lot of volatility and another huge drop. Let's come on down to that 1 year. Wow. So you can see we got rid of all that volatility. She was pretty flat here. We had 2 big bounces. We had one here. This happened on the May of last year. She went from, what is that? About $2? No, about 2.25. What? Wow. There had to be a reverse stock split right there. Right there, reverse stock split. So we can't trust this. The reverse stock split was a 1 in 10. So I got to divide all of this. So if this was 2.10, that was 21 cents. That is $1.80. Okay. So she went from 21 cents to $1.80. Huge, huge run. 900% run right there. Came back down, of course, right? Look at your chart. You got a falling 200. No way she's staying up. She came back down. Is she going to sit on the 200? Nope, it's falling. So she came back up underneath it. down to the 50. Wouldn't have been a great play. Even here, even if you just bought in here and took all that gain and sold somewhere up here, when she came back down, you'd have been happy. There was lots of room, lots of center meat to take. You don't have to look for the top. Just take anything in the middle when you see a play like that. We got another big bounce, our 200. It looks like it's leveling out, but it isn't. So she's going to come back down. She landed on it. It is starting to go flat, but it's not flat yet. And I really can't tell you why she has so much down pressure. She had a chance here. I can see right there. When that 200 haul came over the 200 MA, that should have been a breakout point, not a breakdown point. Something really bad happened to this stock. I don't know what. Come on down to our 4-hour. Man, let's get rid of all these lines. I can't see squat diddly with that there. Not much to see. Big pop, little pop, smaller pop, drop, drop, drop. We went from $28. That's after this. Forget this. All right, right here. We can trust this price. This price is $7 right there. That price we can trust. And we got down to 10 cents here, folks. And right now we're at 18 cents, getting up on top of the 50, the 200, and the 200 haul. Now, the first thing you said was, but the 200's too far away. I'm here to tell you, folks, that is not a consideration. When the 200 and the 200 haul have the price in the middle and the price is on the 50, this thing turns blue. You watch and see if this does not go to and through the 200. Now, the one surprise you might get is that she drops down to the 200, maybe just a peg leg, and then goes. But she will go, and I'm going to say it again, to and through the 200. Folks, we have seen this so many times today. I want that to burn into your memory. This is one of the hottest plays, and nobody talks about it. I don't know anything more than anybody else, or do I? Nobody else talks about this play. I have been talking about this play for 2 years. I used to only talk about stocks that ran today, and tomorrow they fell. And I realized nobody wanted to watch those videos. So I said, God, I got to figure out what stocks are going to run. So I went looking for the best bullish pattern. And all the bullish patterns I found, none of them excited me. This one excited me, and I call it the atypical breakout or the 200 squeeze. So, folks, that's something I think you can walk away from here and make money on over and over again. Well, we are approaching that world record now. We're at 542. 548 is the record. You guys all stop talking. Oh, no, there's some talk going on there. We got somebody talking about BMRA. Didn't cover BMR. Folks, I have looked at so many stocks from 9:30 till now. I have been dealing with the public all day, typing, and trust me, I say a lot more than I'm actually typing. I do get frustrated. And then I got to come over here and look at more stocks and now communicate through words and not say anything that I shouldn't say. It's interesting. I have fun, but boy, does it wear me out. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate you hanging with me. And I'm sorry, folks, that I didn't get to anything else here, but I think I covered most of the stocks that we were really concerned with today. Hopefully I shared something with you that you wanted to learn, wanted to know, or something brand freaking new. Isn't that exciting when you can actually learn something new? Not a waste of time. Thank you, folks. I'll be back here next week, Thursday, same place, same time, same beard. John Zidar signing out. See ya, folks. Hitting my button and going for my Home Alone face.